Hey guys, not exactly sure how long the broadcast will last. It's been pretty shitty internet over here lately. I think they're doing some work on the landlines. I don't know. I woke this morning with a cherry picker outside fucking around with the cables, which is kind of BS. But I mean, if it's an improve, that's great. If it's just down, if, whatever. I'm not gonna get in there. So I'm feeling kind of hostile right now. A little frustrated with some of the gaming that I've been doing, which is why I'm in Minecraft because I don't get frustrated with Minecraft. It's weird, isn't it? Um, and I don't get frustrated with Pac-Man either, or Asteroids, or Dig Dug, or any of the old classic arcade types. I don't know why that is. I think maybe it has something to do with. Excuse me a second. I think it has something to do with the fact that they don't fuck around with what they are. They're not out there trying to present themselves in a way that isn't honest or forthright or I guess really the word I'm looking for is legit. So yeah, basically I'm pointing fingers at free to play games. When they claim you're free to play, and the strategy they're having is that they'll get you to a paywall, and you'll have invested as much as a year even at this point, and you're like, well, shit, it's a free to play. Even though we do face those down and everything, what we're really doing is we're cooperating against that, kind of that common foe. And in Raid Shadow Legends, the PvP structure is a little bit weird at the present time. They plan on doing something where they're going to make it so that you can actually have live PvP. In other words, I'll go into a separate arena where there'll actually be an opponent waiting to queue up. Oh, I didn't bring my ladders, but that's okay. I have a solution. Um, where you wait for an opponent to queue up with you, and then you guys go head to head in real time. So I'll have to spend extra time in this particular mode because what will happen is that my opponent will either go AFK or they'll just draw out the clock if they have a lead. I mean, I'm expecting all the normal tournament level shenanigans that I experienced IRL when I used to play Magic the Gathering and Warhammer 40,000 Big Table. Um, because now I've actually just focusing on Kill Team, and actually a lot of the little box games are really fun to play, like the Space Marine Adventures. I would love to see a gaming club adopt one of those as a tournament format. It'd be kind of fun to set that up, and especially doing a shop run Lost Patrol. I don't know if you guys know about Lost Patrol, but if you go look it up on Google, especially YouTube, you'll find a bunch of videos that talk about it. It is notorious. If you play the Space Marine side of the game, you're nearly guaranteed to lose. I don't know of anybody personally who's ever won the game as a Space Marine player, nor have I seen anybody win the game in on the internet as a Space Marine player. It is doable. It is not, but it's like a massive amounts of luck and poor decision making on your opponent's side. But I would love to see that, and just like points scored for, how close you get to the drop pod, which is the goal of the game. But anyway, back to the free to play scam. So the free to play thing is that eventually you're going to hit a paywall, and that's when you start wanting to open up your wallet and invest in buying resources. And these resources in a game like Raid Shadow Legends are in the form of shards, gems, and silver, and books. And books are used to level up the skills of your champions if you don't have duplicates of them to fuse in, which is really easy to do with rares and even a few epics that are pretty spammy. But be understanding that any champion, for the most part, above a rare that you can book, that you can level just by fusing extras of it, is not going to be that good of an end game champion. And that's what you're trying to really do is you're trying to build up an end game team. So in this arena thing, I know that the second thing they use with the second thing that free to play accounts are good for is feeding to the whales. Now, a whale is somebody who is totally pay to play, totally pay to win. They're buying hundreds of dollars worth of resources every week, if not daily. Um, and it is exactly what the term suggests. They are a bloated account. They have a lot of money and they spend it on this game. Now, many whales, they will have one game where they'll do that. Well, they'll put all of their discretionary income into this one game and get all the bells and whistles that they want to get. And then there are whales who can, who through Patreons and blogs and discords and channels have, basically viewer donations and fan donations are able to, afford this habit, basically a gambling habit, which is why I am staying free to play, because I do have the genetic markers for gambler's addiction or addiction personalities. I am the product of two families of alcoholics. I myself do not drink. Oh, well, that's not entirely true. And I don't ever drink. I don't drink. I don't party drink. I don't drink wine with my dinner or anything like that. I don't casually drink. If I have anything at all, it's either, a rum and cola, which is like once a season, once every 4 months, for like a holiday event or something like that, just to kind of celebrate and stay salute. Everybody's gouging the market. Oh, he's good. Um, or I'll have like a few shots of sake over the span of a few months. So like I'm aware of my ledge, of my edge, of my shadow, if you want to call it that, and I'm very conscientious about it. Oh man, I got to make a new Fletcher. I just spent all my resources on that. Well, that's okay. We can do this now. We'll make a new Fletcher. They're actually pretty good to have hanging around. Let's make two of them. So I got to find out what I'm going to do with this nitwit. I don't want to really afford to have a nitwit. Can you get out of the way, buddy? There we go. Um, Man, well, they count towards villager population, which is eventually going to be important for having golems running around, which will be good against hostiles. But anyway, so yeah, so there's two purposes to a free to play account that I've uncovered on my own, and they are theoretical, but I think they are also viable. Viable. That's okay. I don't. That's better. It's better than having. No, it's not. I like a flush floor. I have to do something with the beds downstairs to try to make it so that we can have more space down there. Let's see. Let's go ahead and plant. Whoops. Just in case. I'm surprised we can't make weapons out of flint. You know, it's just make a handmade axe or a handmade pick out of flint. Because you can farm flint by hand if you find gravel. And I was just thinking that that'd be kind of a cool thing to do in the game. Beat. All right, and again, the superstition is that you place here, 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 and then the northeast square is the last one. But I don't know. I don't really think it matters. Although, I've had that particular one here has not grown at all. So let's see. Let's try that and see what happens. So, so my frustration is that I kind of think that's kind of BS, but in the same way, it's a choice you make. And I had a bunch of videos on Destiny about the whole thing about how to have fun playing Destiny, which is, something I went through kind of I would say, I would qualify it as a gamer's crisis, simply because I had gotten a 2 week suspension, which I don't think was a fair suspension because I don't care about not playing, the Crucible and the PvP game in Destiny. I don't really care about it. I do it when there's bounties to be made and there's bright dust or gold to be or glimmer. If there's resources involved, I will go ahead and do it. But for the most part, there's not much out of the PvP experience in Destiny that actually thrills me or entices me to want to keep coming back. It's not when I put the controller down after PvP in Destiny, I'm like, thank you, that's over. Um, as opposed to like other games where they are nothing. There is nothing but PvP. There is no PvE campaign mode or story mode or anything like that. Like Gundam Battle Operation 2. Now they do have a one-player version out right now, which is Code Fairy, and it's about a team of Zaku pilots during the first UC war. Um, and I thought about buying that, but it's like I don't want to pay another. If I'm going to pay $60 for another game, I'm going to buy something for the tabletop. I'm going to buy something that has minis in it, something that has expandability on it, something that I could play with family and friends, or play against myself and still have a good time. And when I put the pencil and the dice down, I can't think. All I'm thinking about is, ooh, can't wait to play the next game. Um, And that's kind of when you're having fun playing a game. When you put the controller down and you're like, that was great. I feel like I did stuff, and now I can't wait to play the next time. And it's kind of like, you want that experience with every game you play, but it's not always going to be that way, especially when you have something that is very, very loosely set up as an RPG. Um, and, calling a game an RPG just for the sake of calling it an RPG is such bullshit. If it truly is an RPG, then let it be an RPG. Let there be a story there. Let there be some true protagonist progression. Let me feel like a hero. Let me feel like a champion. Um, and Raid Shadow Legends is not an RPG. Um, it's a Pokemon kind of game. It's a gotcha game. You're collecting champions. You're leveling champions. You're leveling everybody up to fight against either an AI driven opponent or an AI driven opponent. Like I said, of course, they're planning to do something with the arena now that would allow us to fight live opponents, which I'm like really curious as to how they're going to mitigate the people who run their clock out. Maybe you'll only get like a certain amount of minutes to do your turn, and if you don't do it, the game goes to AI. That might be kind of fun. But yeah. So when you're playing a free to play account, you just have to kind of remind yourself that, it's free to play. You are basically a guest. Um, you don't own those accounts ever because it's a service. You can't own a service. You subscribe to a service. And I guess, I mean, as long as it's a free to play thing, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. It's just the way they set up their game in the arena itself. It's kind of like, I mean, I don't mind my defense team because you have a defense team that's statically on the grid, and then people come in and fight against you. I don't mind my defense team being AI driven. We are gonna have to do some changes here. I think it's time to grow the barracks. I think it's time for that. I'm gonna need to put shit someplace. So let's go ahead and grab a couple of boxes. And I'll just do this. Sorry for all the clickety clack because I'm using my controller's microphone. Oops, didn't want to do that. Versus in here, we do have enough to expand out. Where how do I want to grow this? That's going to be the big question. Let's see. If I bring it out this way, I could create an L shape in here. I need at least 2 blocks for the bed, and I want 2 blocks for the walkway, because that's the big thing, is that I'm running out of walkway space. And it's annoying doing this. I don't like screen bounce. Oh, I can't stand that. So I need at least 4 blocks. Because if I can do that, unless if I set these up as double beds, then I can put a station here, bed, bed, station. I still end up, but then I'm not clipping. Okay, we could do that. Let's try it down at this end first.